have in front of me here three cameras. I have the Sony FDR-AX100, the Sony FDR-AX53, and the Sony FDR-AX33. This is pretty much Sony's three generations of 4K ultra high definition camcorders designed for the mass market and the prosumer. Now there is the AX1, however that is significantly larger and is what is also known as a permit camera, meaning that wherever you go, chances are someone's going to ask you if you have a permit to record, such as parks, so on and so forth, places that usually generally require a permit. Whereas these three camcorders are more of the smaller form factor, much more portable for prosumer and home use. Now, I recently had a little bit of a problem with my AX33, basically I use these for my YouTube channel. I record quite a bit, sometimes very long recordings, and had a little bit of a buffer underrun problem that Sony just couldn't figure out. It was not video card related, so I am in a market for a different 4K camera. Now, I loved my AX33 for everything except low light shooting. The AX33 crystal clear images, bright daylight shooting. However, that low light introduced a lot of grain and artifacts into the image. Now, the AX33 was actually the second generation of the prosumer portable camcorder, 4K camcorder range. The AX100 was the original introduction to it. Now, I noticed in my search for a good camcorder that Sony recently came out with the AX53, which is the second generation of the 33. Now, this is generation 1, 2, and 3. However, the 33 and the 53 are slightly different. I'll show you why in just a minute. Now, ideally, for professional use, the AX100 features a 1-inch image sensor, and this 1-inch image sensor gives an image unlike what you are going to experience with these two camcorders, specifically in low light. Because of that large sensor, it can grab a lot more of that light and produce a much clearer, much crisper image without the artifacts. Now, these two camcorders have approximately a 5mm by 4mm image sensor, much smaller image sensor, yet still 4K ultra high definition. Now, the AX100 features a 20 megapixel image sensor at 1 inch. The AX53 features a 16.6 megapixel image sensor, and the AX33 features a 20.6 megapixel. Now, the AX33 has a larger image sensor slightly than the AX53. However, due to the lower pixel count, Sony also decided to go with larger pixels. The pixels on the 53 are 1.6 times larger than the 33. The idea behind it was Sony wanted to try and eliminate that problem of the grainy and noisy low light images. Sony also made a few other improvements with the 53. However, they also took a few steps backwards. One of the most noticeable features that is missing on the 53 is the built-in USB cord. That is no longer featured. It is featured on the AX100. Now, the AX100, once again, that was the very first. This is about 3 years old since this one's been introduced now. The 33, actually, you know what? I should have these in order of age. 3 years old, introduced 2 years old, introduced beginning of 2014. The AX33 was introduced in the beginning of 2015 at the CES, and CES 2016 is when they introduced the 53. Now, both the 100 and the 33 have the built-in USB cable. You'll say, oh, big deal, it's just another hassle. It is not. It is actually more useful than you realize. Not only can you transfer data through that USB cable, you can also use it for charging the camcorder. While it does take longer to charge through the USB cable, it is not significantly longer than charging through the DC adapter or an external charger. Most of the external chargers I found are about 14 watt, and now these cameras can charge at 2 amp, so these can charge at up to 10 watts. So it's only about 33% slower, or 1/3 slower charge time via USB if you use a 2 amp or larger charger. And now you can use the same charger as your phone or tablet, or in the case of my vehicle, Tesla Model S, which has all the USB ports built right into the car, it was extremely handy, as I could just plug the camcorder right into the car as I'm driving and then juice it up, ready for my next destination and shoot. Now, while you can carry a USB cable and plug it in to charge the AX53, it charges at a slower pace. On an empty battery and a number of different chargers and tests, the most I could get was 500 milliamp hours, 500 milliamps instead of the 1 or 2 amps like the AX33 and AX100. Some other improvements are other differences. Now the AX100 has a lens cap, so you have to manually remove the lens cap, whereas the AX33 and the AX53 both have automatic lens covers that will open up. Now the AX100 has the largest image sensor out of the three, as well as the largest lens. And let's see, we are rated at 62 millimeter opening. The AX33 is a 52, and the AX53, and I'm sorry, I should have looked that up. It should be a, where is it now? This should be a 58 if I'm remembering correctly. I don't have the documentation on hand, I'm sorry. So, my choices for replacing my 33, I had a few options. Of course, another year, prices dropped. It's been a year since I purchased this one. This was originally a $1,000 camera. Now, the AX33 dropped down $200 since I purchased it a year ago. And now, since the 53 is the current market leader, this one's the $1,000 camera. And the AX100 is still holding its own at approximately $1,700. Now, I did manage to find this one for $1,200 as a open box item. It was still brand new. Basically, someone just opened the box and returned it. So, since this one had a problem Sony couldn't fix, I had two options, and they're waiting for me to send it back to them again. I can either send it back and they'll replace it with a new or refurbished camcorder, which I really don't like refurbished items. I've always had problems with refurbished. Or they will just reimburse me the cost of the camera, and then I can go purchase whatever I want, which is why I decided to give the 53 a try. Now, once again, right off the bat, no built-in USB cord. I didn't think it would affect me as much. I figured, oh, I'll just carry an extra cord around. It is really a hassle and a pain in the butt. Another nice improvement was they upgraded to a capacitive touchscreen instead of resistive. So before, whereas you could use like a pen cap or something to help you get more precise to touch things on the screen to get the exact button or function you want, no longer needed. It is much more responsive screen-wise. However, actually there was no downside to that. The 53 is larger than the 33, yet smaller than the 100, and it is but also considerably lighter than the 33. It features a larger lens, 26.8 millimeter, and overall the image and color reproduction was better on the 53 than my 33. One thing I will also note though is My 53 was also DOA right out of the box. This one will be going right back to Amazon, and it was brand new. So I know I just said I don't like refurbished items, but in this case, even a brand new item had a little bit of a problem, which doesn't give me that much courage in keeping this as my next camera, especially considering that my AX33 had an issue, but I did get almost a year out of this one before it started having constant buffer overrun problems. It couldn't write to the card fast enough, and I did try a number of different cards once that problem started happening. Doesn't matter, happened on all of them. Was also not too impressed with Precision Camera's repair service, which is Sony's only repair service in the U.S. A authorized repair center in the U.S. So the problem I was having with the 53 was, as I'm shooting, if I jostle the camera around like this a little bit too much, the recording would actually start and stop on its own. It would literally stop recording, and without looking at the screen, you wouldn't realize that it stopped recording. So if you're in a bumpy situation, a little hard to see the screen, you might not know that you just stopped recording. You just missed everything that you were trying to catch. Also, I was getting screen flickers. Not a good start for a $1,000 camera. Now, I've been playing around with the AX100, and frankly, this provides a superior picture and a superior experience in all ways but one. First off, it does have very many manual controls. You got all three of these have the lens ring that you can program to do a number of different functions. On the AX100, the lens ring is switchable between focus and zoom. On these two, you can switch between that and a number of other features as well, aperture, iris, so on and so forth. However, the AX100 also has a small finger ring down here, which you can program similar to how you'd program the rings on these two. So you actually have two control rings instead of one. Also, the AX100 has a manual button, iris button, gain, ISO, shutter speed. Down here it has the HDMI earphone jack. On the back side, you have either automatic or manual neutral density filter. And you can select either off, 1, 2, or 3. And I must admit, that is a very nice improvement to these cameras. For these two, the AX33 and AX53, you do not have a neutral density filter. You would have to get a screw-on type filter. Now, all three of these cameras feature a screw-on type lens threads, so you can put additional attachments, widen the lenses, so on and so forth. Now, on the top, all three have a hot shoe for extended options, Canon microphone, or shotgun microphone. I don't know, Canon kind of sounds kind of cooler. I was a little disappointed by the 53's door. It seems considerably more flimsy than the 33 or the 100, although they are slightly larger, so to accommodate larger items that might get clamped on. All three use the same battery size, so everything is pretty much interchangeable. They come with the NP-F70 battery. A little expensive, but you can find third-party batteries that work spectacular for $12 or $13, believe it or not. All three of these have the DC in the same spot. Once again, the 33 and the 100 have the built-in USB cable, while the AX53 only has the micro USB in multi-port. The 33 and 100 also have a USB micro port, as well as microphone, earphone jack. This one. Microphones down here, as well as the multi-port down there, and earphone jack is on this side. So on the 100, everything's much easier to access. The screen is also slightly larger on the 100, as well as when you open your screen, you have a series of other buttons. You have a power button, display, night shot, white balance and program auto exposure, a direct play button, and all three have the memory card slot behind the little door. One thing I'm going to note about the AX53 is even though it is slightly larger than the 33, it is lighter and it also has a cheaper feeling to it. Now, the big reason you choose a 33 or a 53 over the 100, if you notice, even though the 100 has this amazing lens and large image sensor, the 33 and the 53 have what's called the Boss Optical Stabilization System. And if you notice, as I move the camera around, the lens is actually floating. The lens and image sensor are floating. It's almost as if you have a built-in gimbal that helps stabilize your shots. And trust me, it does an amazing job. That is where these two camcorders really shine. The AX100 does not have that. It's a fixed lens, so there is the steady shot and advanced steady shot that, I'm going to have to look at the steady shot and, come on, fader, there we go. Active steady shot or standard steady shot. And while it does make a huge improvement, the Boss Optical Stabilization System is second to none in terms of keeping your shot steady and stable. I still have a tough decision to make, as I do a lot of videos where I'm moving around, but I also do a lot of videos where it's darker conditions. And I may just get another replacement because I still have a good return period on the 100, but I may get a replacement 53. However, I mean, I still might go down to the 33 just for the built-in USB cable, and then I'd still be able to pocket $200 as it's $200 cheaper than the 53. So while they all have their pros and cons, you still are going to have to choose which one's better for you. If the 53 had the built-in USB cable, I'd pretty much say it was a guaranteed I'd just go straight to the 53. But because the 33 still has the USB cable, that's still a contender, as is a few of the other, just how things are done. Now, the 53 also allows you to do slow motion and has 128 frames per second shooting for slow motion, whereas it's limited to 3 seconds on the AX100 and not available on the AX33. If all you do is bright daytime shooting, beautiful sunny days out, or well-lit locations, the 33 or the 53 would be excellent for you, especially if there's going to be a lot of motion or if you're going to be moving around. So especially now, if you're going to use it as just your family camcorder, vacation, so on and so forth, these two are the camcorders of choice. If you're looking for a better, more professional picture, go with the AX100 with its larger image sensor and lens. Just keep in mind, you will not have that Boss Optical Stabilization that will keep your image nice and steady. You will have that active or standard optical stabilization. Oops, bugs. But it does help, and all fixed lens camcorders will have some sort of software-based stabilization, but do not expect it to perform at the same level as these two. If you're going to do any kind of low light shooting, the AX100 is your camcorder of choice. It's low light shooting. What turns out black, completely not visible on these two, comes out pretty darn good on the AX100. Now, they all have the night shooting function, which uses infrared spectrum, and also all three have the infrared emitter, so you can see in total darkness. But remember, that's going to pretty much give you an image of what you're going to see on the sci-fi series Ghost Hunters. So if you don't mind a green image and you're not looking for image quality in low light, any of these will work for you. If you're looking for regular cinematic shooting in low light, go with the AX100. So now I think I might just get out a D6 die and roll the die, decide which one I'm going to go with, or I might just play around with them a little more. And I hope you were able to learn a little bit about these camcorders. Any questions or comments, please post below. I do my best to answer all of them, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me continue to make awesome videos for all of you. Thank you very much. Salut!
Smile, cheese.